Hello everyone, and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care channel. I'm Dwayne and I'm a certified level 2 RV inspector. But today we're going to be talking about how to find the very best RV campgrounds that are out there so you can stay at them. Now there's a ton of campgrounds in the US, no question about that. You have plenty to choose from, but not all are created equal. There's vast differences between them. Some are well maintained, some are well run, and some aren't. So how do you find which campgrounds are going to be the best in an area where you want to go? Well, I use a few different tools to be able to do this, and we're going to talk about them today. But the number one tool that seems to work well for us is a website called CampgroundReviews.com. Now, let me mention this. I am not affiliated with CampgroundReviews.com or with RV Life that owns them at all. I'm not getting paid for doing this. No, when I find something that works well for us, then I really want to share it with my subscribers here on YouTube and help you get the same benefit out of it. So that's really why I'm mentioning it today. But before we get into campgroundreviews.com and how I use it and all of that, let me mention a couple of things. Number one, it's totally free to sign up for it. It won't cost you anything. You just have an account, you can log in, you can search and all the reviews that you want to your heart's content. So it's just that easy. Also, all of the reviews that are made on this site are submitted for review themselves. And I like that because it means that somebody's not just throwing a review up there and it automatically goes up. It means that somewhere there's a person who reviewed that review and made sure that it was fair. And I like that. So now with those few things in mind, let's go ahead and let's take a look at how I use CampgroundReviews.com. So here we are on the home page of CampgroundReviews.com. And as you'll notice right here, it tells you there are hundreds of thousands of reviews on this website. And that's really one of the reasons I love this particular site on campgrounds. Now, you can find campgrounds in a few different ways. You know, if you're not really sure what you're searching for, you can go to the map here, and as you can see, you can select any of the states, and that'll bring up the campgrounds in that state, and you can go through the list. But honestly, for me, usually I use the search bar up here. So I already know what campgrounds I want to look into in depth. And I'm going to use an example here of a campground I really like. It's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And so when you type it in, there you go. You get all these different campgrounds that are in that area or related to it. There's the one I want, Hershey RV and Camping Resort in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. So I'm going to select that, and up comes the page. Now, at the very top of this page is a very important thing right here. It's that number and these stars. Notice there are 59 reviews that's been entered on this particular campground. Well, the number is a result of their aggregating all of these reviews together, and then they assign a number based on the popularity of the campground, you know, what people are saying about it, how positive their reviews have been. So when you get a campground that is 8 or above on this website, let me tell you, that's a great campground. That's one you really want to go to in most cases. And certainly Hershey is a good one. But if you just drop one digit between 7 and 8 instead, then they're telling you that the reviews are coming up with a few little issues. Some things that might not be so good. It's still a really good campground, but there's some things you might want to know. Then if you drop one more digit, between 6 and 7 up here, Well, there's some more significant issues here, and you really need to go through the reviews and see what they are and then decide whether you want to go to that campground or not. And honestly, below 6, my experience has been that if it's below 6 on this website, you probably don't want to really go to that campground. So let's move on down the page, and here they provide you with the COVID status, and that's all nice and good. Here they're going to tell you about the elevation, how many sites are there, and you can also visit the website, and that's a good thing to have handy. But then under that is the map. You can consult the map, see where it's located, how to get in and out. Then features and amenities. This is very good, tells you all about the important things you want to know that's related to that campground. The connectivity. This is great because a lot of people camping there will tell you what their connectivity was, and you'll know in advance. Here, apparently Verizon's got a problem, but AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile are good. All right, let's move on down to where the magic really takes place. This is where the reviews are. Notice here they're going to tell you by RV type. How many people have reviewed that had motorhomes or travel trailers or fifth wheels or tent trailers? The general breakdown of the ratings and that kind of thing. Good to know. But then get to the individual reviews. Now, who is this guy, RV Inspector? I don't know. Okay, I'll fess up. That's me. I did write a review for this particular site because I really, or this campground, I really like it. But anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of information here contained. They ask you a lot of questions about that campground. You can even put photos with it as well, and I did on mine. But then as we go down, we look at other reviews. It's so important to not just read 1 or 2 reviews here. Go down, get a good feel for what's going on in that campground. Here's a great feature about campgroundreviews.com, the tips section. You know, when I fill out a review for them, they always ask, in addition to my review, do I have any tips that I want to pass along to the next RVers that are going to be staying there and camping there? And sure enough, many people do provide tips about the campground itself. They'll tell you what's going on in the area, you know, where places are to get to your groceries, maybe some attractions here, like this Amish farm they mention here. All sorts of good little tips and information. They're telling you about Walmart here and Lowe's. Here's my little thing right there, Permanente Brothers. If you're ever in downtown Hershey, check them out, man. Those sandwiches are just ridiculously good. Okay, so, but you go on down here and review all of these reviews. Not all of them, I shouldn't say that, but you know what, I figure about 10 gives me a good feel. Once I've gone through about 10 reviews or so, I have a pretty good picture of what's going on in that particular campground. And then it helps me make a decision on whether I really want to go there or maybe find a different campground instead. So this is all good, solid information that's provided by campgroundreviews.com. All right, so that is our online portion of the video. Another great website for campground reviews is thedirt.com. And no, it's not spelled the way you may think. It's spelled the DYRT.com, thedirt.com. And it's a great resource for information on campgrounds across the country. Now, why is it not my first choice? Only one reason. Campgroundreviews.com just seems to have a lot more reviews. So I can go there and get a lot of information all in one place. But you know what? If I don't have all the information on the campground, I just don't feel I'm not getting the full picture in campgroundreviews.com, then thedirt.com is a great place to go and get more information. So thedirt.com is another great resource. But you know, RV camping doesn't just have to be campgrounds. A lot of us who stay in campgrounds also like to do some boondocking and some dry camping from time to time, or maybe that's your preferred method of RVing. So if that's the case, you want to find campsites, dry camping, boondocking sites that are going to be good for you and your rig. And probably the number one site that I can recommend is Campendium.com. Those folks have really done a lot of work to get good information on dry camping and boondocking. Now, you can also get information on campgrounds there. So that is another resource for that. But I just feel like Campendium really shines when it comes to dry camping and boondocking. So that's the best resource I know of for that online. Now, there is another site that you can use for that kind of RVing, and that's freecampsites.net. I don't use that as the number one site for that kind of RVing, in other words, dry camping and boondocking. And the only reason for that is because it's really just not as comprehensive, in my opinion, as the information you get from Campendium. But again, put the two together and you have a great picture of the sites that you can access in an area that you want to be. So freecampsites.net, another great resource that works right along with Campendium.com. Well, I do hope you'll use these resources that I've mentioned here today. They really will help. It's a great idea. Before you go to the campground, before you go to the campsite, know what you're getting into. Kind of have a little advanced knowledge of that. But one other thing that I want to encourage and suggest, and this is for all RVers who watch this video, please don't just receive information about campgrounds and campsites. You know, we could not get that information if there weren't others that were providing those reviews for us. So why not think of that and pay it forward, as it were? So you create your own reviews about the campgrounds you visited, the campsites you've been to, and so on. And that way you make arrangements for future RVers to benefit from the RVing experience that you've had as well. Well, that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.